Creating art, like doing science, is about research and about experimentation, and that's what you're going to see here today.
The heart of cartography is how to make a context in which we get to have conversations, particularly with young people, about the histories of movement that are foundational to our lives.
This kind of collaborative point between theater and technology specifically is very interesting.
One of the crux of using technology with performance is trying to create magic.
During the residency, we've been focusing on developing some of the technology for the performance with the interactive media team led by Pierre Depaz and 3 students who just graduated.
It was an opportunity for us to draw on the university's program for postgraduate work experience for recent alumni and to really pull them into the process, not for their own learning, but actually really contributing and bringing their own expertise to the table. And that was really important.
Magic feeling, you know that feeling, that weird magic feeling?
Chris and I had been thinking about it for over a year, I would say, kind of dreaming up this idea of how to make this ocean that would be responsive to the performers' voices on stage. So to walk into that room after a year dreaming on this and several trials in New York that weren't so successful, it was wonderful to see the work that the team had already front-loaded so that when we arrived, we got to really dive into development.
Matteo was in charge of web development, where he made a website that would represent the particular trajectories of audience members and then project it on the screen. Grace was in charge of writing computer graphics that would represent an ocean and which then would be controlled by a series of algorithms that Andrea designed and wrote.
The artist's prompt to us was that they want an ocean or storm that is controlled by the actors' voices. So one of the first things we experimented with was having how loud the actors speaking influence the height of the ocean.
Very much a work in progress. They've also been supported financially by all the technical staff here at the Art Center.
The part that I was actually sort of more directly involved in was the map application and sort of coordinating the sort of networking that needed to happen to get everyone's, hundreds of people's cell phones talking to this one application and getting this thing going. That application was impossible to test before we actually did it live with an audience. And so watching the router's status screen and seeing just 100 connections all of a sudden appear, and then there's this moment of anticipation, and then the map comes up, and then they all start, and you're like, yes. And Matteo and I were sitting next to each other, and we both looked at each other like, yes. So that was very magical.
It's been really delightful to work with the team here, getting to develop the project on this campus that is an intersection of so many parts of the world and so many different stories of movement that live in this community on the campus has been wonderful. Developing the media with people who are interested in performance, with people who are bringing their own histories of movement to the work has been really gratifying and has enriched the depth of the collaboration.
The team here at the IM Lab are straight up magicians. And there is such a gift, especially as a designer and as a writer, to have an idea and to see it come alive.
I was really happy and proud of the fact that we had come up with something that works as we had intended. I think especially seeing it in the context of the audience that it's intended for, which is kind of more like high school kids, and to see them really understand what is going on with this technology and that relationship between what the actors are doing and how it's manifesting on the projection. To see that we had managed to effectively communicate that was a good moment. If I would imagine the ideal job, it would be working on something like this.